Welcome into WagerTalk TV. I am Drew Martin, joined by Steve Merrill and Kevin Dolan of WagerTalk.com. We're breaking down Friday night action here, cross-conference matchup. We get TCU in Colorado. Steve, coming to you first, 10 p.m. Eastern here, Friday night, minus 13.5 to as high as minus 2 touchdowns. That's minus 14. TCU as the road favorite, 55.5 being the total. You liking anything Friday night, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about TCU. Texas Christian, if you're looking at the WagerTalk Live Odds screen, and by the way, I do highly recommend that you look at the live odds screen each and every day this football season. But for you new bettors out there that might get confused, Texas Christian is not some Division III women's college. It is TCU, and they are favored for a reason because this has been one of the powerhouse, non-power, whatever you want to call them. They are Big 12 now. They weren't until a couple years ago. And I think they'll be one of the better Big 12 teams. Last year they returned 18 starters. Everybody had back 18 starters last year. And they went just 5-7. But they got 17 guys back this year. And look, starters returning is something we got to get out of the gate right away. It's not as important as it used to be, right? Because with the transfer portal, it's a situation where you could have a guy that didn't start for your team but was a starter with another program. So what I like to look for is experience. And this is a very experienced team. In fact, our friend Mark Lawrence in his Playbook Annual has a returning power rating basically based on offense and defense. He's got them as the 24th most experienced offensive team, 12th most experienced defensive team, 9th overall in all of Division 1A. So this is a very veteran team returning for TCU. First-year head coach Sonny Dykes, so that takes a little bit of the experience out of the equation, I guess, because you have a new coach. But for me, whenever we get a powerhouse team playing a weaker team, it's always a look for me in week one. Drew, you mentioned how this line is kind of hovered around that key number of 14. I think it's pretty much where it should be. My power ratings make this game 13.5. So I think the line is spot on. They're taking on a Colorado team that's on the 78th most experienced team returning, 31st on offense, but 121 on defense. Very inexperienced defensive team. And I think that's where TCU is going to get the win and probably the cover here. If this stays below 14, I would rather have the better team coming off a losing season. First game with the new head coach. I could see TCU going out, Texas Christian going out and making a statement in this one on Friday night.
Okay, a lot of changes both teams here. Kevin, what are you thinking up in the altitude Friday night?
Well, it's tough for me to get involved here, Drew, on the side, knowing that you could have got 8 at the start of the month. But even so, as Steve said, it's hard to look past a pretty comprehensive TCU victory in this one for me. Sonny Dykes does come over from SMU. As Steve mentioned, head coach. But this isn't his first go-around at the Horned Frogs. Was an offensive analyst here back in 2017 when TCU was last a top 10 team, actually, in the country. So this is a team he knows all too well. He's brought in defensive coordinator Joe Gillespie over from Tulsa as well. That changes Patterson's former, previous 4-2-5 defense now to a 3-3-5, which is a lot more adaptable. So, especially with how limited Colorado look on receiving, that defense should create a ton of problems on the offensive end for the Buffaloes in this one. For me, well, like I said, I can't get involved with the current number on the side. I can't envision anything other than a comfortable Horned Frogs victory either in this one. And I think that starts on defense here. Colorado were 127th in the nation last year on total yards per play. They were 126th on third down conversion percentage as well. So, is that going to improve here against what looks like a far stronger looking TCU defensive outfit on Friday? I just don't see it. So, I'm looking at the Colorado team total under 20.5 points in this one for my play, as, the Buffaloes putting up 3 touchdowns on TCU in this one. I just don't see it. So, Colorado team total under 20.5 points for me on Friday against TCU. That's the way I'll be looking in this one.
He's Kevin Dolan. You heard from Steve Merrill as well. Check them both out, WagerTalk.com. And also remember, Mondays is $9 Mondays. All plays from all handicappers discounted to just $9. Check it out, WagerTalk.com.